So before I got the four-wheel camper, I was looking at between the four-wheel camper and an Alaskan camper. And I just didn't want the kitchen type setup in the Alaskan camper. And I probably could have bought one and just ripped all that out. But I don't know, I just went with the four-wheel camper because I thought that would be more simpler. One thing that I did find kind of frustrating in the four-wheel camper too was those shelves that come out. So those were great for helping to get up on top of the bed platform. It's like you always have a ladder in there or a step stool in there to get up there. But if you want to take everything out and haul stuff, those are in the way. And I thought about cutting them out, but I just left them. They were kind of a great and also in the way type thing. It would be nice if they were removable, but they're part of the whole structure. So
the Project M is just basically a shell, and then it pops up. Got these on the sides, or the back and the sides. This will be testing it out in a little bit of wind too. Six clips. I have a 8-foot bed on my truck, so there's quite a bit of room in there. And I got, let's see if I can stand up. I got just got the Max fan over the center with the little basket thing back there, and something up here to secure stuff too, which will be perfect. And it came solar ready. And I opted for the passenger side window, plus it already came with the driver's side window. See if I can get this one hand. I think that'll clip back in. And now I got my tailgate back on too, which is nice. So that's what the interior looks like. It's got these two shelves that are about 13-ish inches. And then everything is flopped all over the place because I drive like a maniac up here. There's some couple bungees to kind of pull the fabric on the inside. I'm sure there's a ton of videos on these things. Oh, look, the bed actually slid out about a foot or so. I've done really nothing to it other than put a calendar thing up there, a couple little command hooks, and then I got a couple little curtain things going. That's it. So there's a little clip right here that we undo, and then we just push it up. Strap wraps around that to keep that from falling back down. And it snaps right there. Front. Angle this properly. This unsnaps, and then you push this up, and we're up. Put that down, and then this has another snap on it right there to hold it up there. The tailgate shut. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of sealing on that. There's a massive gap where bugs and mice and whatever else could get in here. My mouse could totally crawl through that. I had a mouse crawl through my, getting in on my tailgate on my Colorado, and it was a lot tighter seal than this. That's shut as far as it shuts, so I'll have to get a kit and seal that up. I didn't get any kind of gear track or anything put on the side of these. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want roto packs or traction boards or none of that stuff on the side. I don't carry the traction boards year round. I pretty much only carry them in winter. So that was the only reason that I got the roof basket, was so I can throw them up there, or I can make something where I can put them in the back real quick. They can a little cubby thing that'll be okay if they're all muddy and nasty. This truck is, I mean, it's a 2021 F-250. so it's already pretty giant rolling down the road. I don't need any more stuff along the sides. Down here is easy. It's the turning around and going back up. It's going to be fun to watch. I can all turn around. These shelves are great for getting up and down off the bed, but can be in the way for hauling cargo. There's the bed in and the bed pulled out. I put my boots over here next to the heater so it can help dry them out, and it can smell like boot in here. They're not very old, so they don't stink. Close that cap up. There we go. Let's see, the bed's all the way pulled out. I'm gonna chill out in the chair there for a little while. Kill all the lights in here and probably play on my phone for a minute. I knew I was going to do that. Kind of shocked how efficient that heater is. I've had it on the lowest setting the whole time, but it's been on for probably over 6 hours. All right, that's it. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna chill out in the camper for a while and probably read and let the diesel heater keep cranking it up in here.
All right, so the reason I got rid of the four-wheel camper and the truck was a few reasons. The truck was just way too big for like a day-to-day basis, using it as like a daily driver. A lot of the places I go camping and stuff, the roads are brushy and they're kind of narrow sometimes, and that truck was a pain in the ass to maneuver around. So the truck was too big, and then sometimes even though it was a pop-up top camper, it was still, I had some clearance issues going through some brushy areas. I had several little dents in the rack thing on top. The roof on it was was kind of hard for me to lift up, because it's right at the point where I'm crouched down and I'm trying to push it up, and it's right at a weak point in my back, so I felt like my back was going to give out sometimes. So a lot of times I would stand on like a little stool, and then lifting the front up where you have that stick to push it up. That's kind of hard on my shoulder. I have a bad shoulder, so even lifting up like that is kind of hard on my shoulder, and then doing that push motion at a kind of an odd angle was kind of difficult for me.
This unsnaps, and then you push this up, and we're up.
And then in the colder, wintry months when I had the Max Tracks on the top, it added weight on the roof, and made it almost impossible for me to push the roof up. And I didn't want to mount them on the side because the truck's already too big. And I like a nice clean look down the side of the vehicle. I don't like stuff on the sides of my vehicles. All right, before I made up my mind to get rid of that truck and camper, I had thought about getting a second vehicle, like a RAV4 or 4Runner, Jeep Cherokee, Nissan Xterra, something like that, some little, smaller SUV type thing. And then I was kind of looking for one, maybe I could put a bed platform in, but I'm 6'2", and so I take up a lot of room. Being tall sucks. And then I was thinking, I'll just start, I used to sleep in tents all the time. I used to sleep, a lot of times in the summer, that blue pop-up awning thing I have, I would just put that up and sleep under that with no tent at all. Just put a foam pad down and just sleep under that. It was great. And I used to tent camp all the time, and I thought, I'll just start tent camping again. And so I started looking around for a vehicle that I could just run around and go camp and go to trailheads and stuff like that. It'd be a lot better to around town than driving the big truck. And I realized, well, if I'm going to do all that in a smaller vehicle, why keep the big truck? Why not just take the big truck, get rid of it, and then take all that money and just get another vehicle? And that's basically what I did. So I sold that and then got the Nissan Frontier and still had money in the bank. So it was kind of a win-win. The truck was great. I mean, tons of power. It pretty much went anywhere. I didn't do any modifications to it other than I put different tires on it. I put KO2s on it instead of the ones that came from the factory, because the normal ones were just like a street tire. And then I put the winch and the winch bumper on. And other than that, it was just a stock vehicle. And stock height on those Super Duties is kind of already up there, so it was pretty much like it had a lift anyway. I thought I was going to spend a lot more time in the camper in inclement weather than I actually did, because I thought that would kind of be one of the reasons I got that in the first place. Was when I switched from the canopy setup to the camper setup, I thought this will be great because I can stand up in there, I'll have a lot more room, but I really didn't spend that much more time in there. Another thing on the one of the negative things about that truck was the stupid aluminum bodies that Ford went to. They you can't stick a magnetic antenna on them. They're non-ferrous, it's aluminum, and they dent way too easy. It's when a couple times I was washing it, and I was like, how did that dent get there? Like one of them just looked like a little teeny tiny door ding. One of them, there was a couple dents in the tailgate that I don't even know how those got there. Yeah, that aluminum is terrible. It's way too thin, dents way too easy. I will never, knock on wood, I will never buy another aluminum truck. So on the truck, the power was great. The fuel mileage was okay. I mean, it's a big truck. It's not going to get great mileage. It was getting like mid-teens. But, it had the camper on there. Camper didn't weigh a whole lot, but it was kind of a, it was added wind resistance. Plus, I would always have a bunch of crap in the back. The one thing too that led me, I didn't really want an aluminum truck to begin with, but the one thing that pushed me toward the Ford as opposed to GM or Ram was Ford was the only one that offered an extended cab, and they're the only one that offered a selectable locker in all their rear end gear ratios. if I ever did get another truck for like a camper type setup, I would probably get an older vehicle, an older truck, and just put like a canopy on it and build some kind of bed platform back there, and that would probably be good enough. With the Frontier, before I decided to just go to tents, I was thinking about getting one of those like pop-up things like a Go Fast Camper or an Oru or a Topo or something like that, but I thought, I really just, it's basically just like, it's still basically sleeping in a tent. Why spend the thousands on something like that when I have tents, and I just need to get there, and I'm 100% fine sleeping on the ground. It's not that big of a deal to me. I think we get kind of too caught up in the I need to have this to be a traditional overlander type person, and that's not what I'm about. I'm just going out and doing what I've always been doing for many, many years. Going out, hiking, camping, spending time outside. That's what I do. I think that's about it. Also, I totally faked this whole thing. I'm not camping. I set this up in the garage. It's actually roasting hot in here. See how much room this this thing has. So I'm like 6'2", so I have a reach of like 6'2", so I cannot touch the sides. This thing is monstrous. Oh, this is the Gazelle T4. All right. Whew. Turn this thing off. It's way too hot in here.